Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. Isis, All That Glitters. The goddess next door takes on a bikini-clad bank robber in this action-packed, all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis, All That Glitters in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. I was watching Chris Miller, aka Black Up Inya's video about former porn star Mia Khalifa, who is now making efforts to distance herself from her past in the porn industry. And when I take a critical examination of your Mia Khalifa, who alleges that she's ashamed of her past in the porn industry, I see a woman who is basically running the same game I talked about in my video, Beware the Washed Up Black Woman. And when I take a critical examination of your Mia Khalifa, I see a washed up Lebanese woman who is making efforts to try to reinvent herself in the hopes of snaring a big fat juicy simp. And as I've done research on this Mia Khalifa, she has just done exactly that, finding herself a Michelin star Danish chef and deciding to get married to him. And this man who she's getting married to is the main reason why your Mia Khalifa is coming out to distance herself from her porn past and talk about how she's so ashamed of it. Basically, what she's doing right now is what most washed up women do when they find that big fat juicy simp. They try to rewrite history to make themselves out to be the victim so that the simp will go out of his way to believe the lies that she's telling. And your Mia Khalifa is trying to make it look like she was such a victim of the porn industry when she was actively involved in this porn industry and actively engaged in this porn industry. And she's talking about how it was seemingly like some sort of unconscious decision. And that's the biggest pile of BS you could ever hear from a woman like Mia Khalifa. It definitely was a conscious decision. And your Mia Khalifa went into this porn industry because she wanted to get the fast track to fame. And that's what a lot of these women are doing who want to get into this porn industry. They do this because they don't want to have to deal with these auditions. They don't want to have to deal with these casting directors, and they don't want to have to deal with driving around town every day, going on go-sees, and getting roasted by casting directors and agents in legit acting productions. So what they do is head over to one of these porn prodcos, which will take just about anybody because they're never hard up for talent unless it doesn't fit into their fetishes. And what this woman did was she went there using her Middle Eastern heritage as a gimmick in order to get that fame and be that hook. But when she entered the porn industry and saw that there wasn't going to be any sort of big payday for it, that's when she wanted to backpedal after being in the porn industry for 90 days. Because as someone who has done extensive research and knows all about the entertainment industry, I know for a fact that the porn industry, yes, you can get a lot of attention for being in pornographic films, but the pay is absolute garbage. And this was something that I learned way back when I was in 2010 making videos about Montana Fishburne, who also believed that she could use the porn industry as a stepping stone into mainstream films, and then also found out the hard way that the porn industry is not a gateway into any sort of entertainment job, because the porn industry usually, again, yes, you can get a lot of attention in the beginning, but oftentimes you don't get any credibility as related to acting ability, nor do you make any sort of money. And I believe the real reason why Mia Khalifa didn't want to be in the porn industry after 90 days was after seeing her paycheck for participating in these pornographic films, because in the porn industry, they only pay the top stars $1,000 a scene, and those top stars can get $1,500 for anal sex. So they only get paid anywhere at the top of the level of $1,000 to $1,500 a scene, and that doesn't matter if they have sex with one guy, two guys, three guys, or four guys. They only get paid $1,000 to $1,500. And lower tiered actresses who don't have big fame, like Mia Khalifa coming in, these actresses barely get paid anywhere from $100 to $300 a scene, and mid-range stars can get anywhere from $700 to $800 a scene. And a scene can take anywhere from 3 to 8 hours to film. And what most people don't know about many of these porn movies is that these movies are not one long marathon sexual session. Oftentimes, these scenes are broken up to make this whole 3 to 4 hours of sex look like an actual one whole sexual scene, and that there are often breaks in between each framework of the film, because they have 2 to 3 cameramen in the room shooting this film, and then as they're shooting it, they take cuts and breaks so that they can change positions. And a lot of people, when they go out here and watch these porn movies, they think it's one continuous sex act, but in actuality, it is one scene that is all cut and spliced to make it appear like it's one long continuous scene. And your Mia Khalifa probably after finding out that she was only going to be paid anywhere from $700 to $1,000 for a basic sex scene, she saw that the money was going to be very small, and this is the reason why she quit the porn industry after 90 days, because she saw it wasn't going to be the fast track to fame that she thought it was going to be. And while she was popular on Pornhub and was the #1 star on Pornhub, that really didn't have an impact overall as related to Hollywood and the entertainment industry. And this is something that many girls who do porn or pose in Playboy never understand, is that if you going out here and doing porn is not going to be the fast track to fame, and it's not going to have any impact on you as an entertainer. When it comes down to Hollywood, you're still going to have to pay dues. And this was the lesson that Montana Fishburne learned over 10 years ago, back when she was trying to be Chippy D, and found that she went out here, did this porn, and then what happened was she didn't get any sort of fame or attention. In fact, she got laughed at because she didn't have any sort of sexual prowess like many of the porn actresses did. And the same thing with your Mia Khalifa, who oftentimes in her films came across as clumsy and awkward in many of her films, because she herself had no sort of acting ability, because, again, porn is not real sex. It is acting, it is staged, it is choreographed, and what your Mia Khalifa thought she was going to do was fast track herself into a career and have it be big, not understanding that porn star big is small as related to the entertainment industry. And that's the main reason why your Mia Khalifa was upset, because she thought she was going to come in here and make huge money doing porn movies, and got upset when she found out she was only going to make $12,000. And that's the thing that really has her ire, is making only $12,000 as a porn actress. She thought she was going to come in here and make 6 figures, not understanding the whole business of the porn industry, because those who understand the business of the porn industry understand that porn movies don't make a lot of money as related to productions, because they are low budget productions. Moreover, your entertainers don't own any of the rights to the intellectual property. They oftentimes sign a release to the Prodco, and oftentimes the only money they get is the check that's cut for that scene, and they better cash that fast depending on the prodco, because a lot of times these prodcos are fly-by-night operations, and if you don't cash the check, you're going to wind up with no money at all. And in some cases, a lot of these chicks get paid in cash right there. So she was coming in thinking that she was going to come in and be in this porn industry and make all of this money. Again, not understanding porn stars don't make anything at all that much, because only the top stars make the $1,000 to $1,500 a scene, and the $1,500 is only if they participate in sodomy. So that's the only way they get the $1,500. And your Mia Khalifa didn't understand that, and she got upset about only making $12,000, not understanding that porn stars who make the big dollars make that money on multiple revenue streams. So you might see a porn star in a porn movie, but in order for them to make the big dollars, they have to go out here and do stripping at these clubs. So a lot of these porn stars are usually strippers in their when they're not shooting films, and that's how they make a lot of big money in tips. But they also have to pay the club, and a lot of these porn stars also make their money by doing cam services online on their official website, and that's how they have a revenue stream. And they also make money by selling pictures and used underwear. So they do not make their money on porn movies. Oftentimes, the porn movies are basically promotional tools that they use to get attention for themselves, and they use that to draw attention to their strip shows. They use them to draw attention to their cam shows. They use them to sell their merchandise, and they also make money as escorts in places like the Bunny Ranch, and they often make money as escorts selling sex to various guys. And this is what your Mia Khalifa didn't understand about the porn business. She thought it was just, I make some movies and I make some money, not understanding that your average porn star is basically an escort and a stripper and also a cam person. And this is how, and these three ways are how they make money, because they don't just sell sex on film. They also sell sex as an exotic dancer, and they sell sex as a cam person, and they sell it through merchandise and pictures, and they also sell it by being an escort and selling their body to Johns for higher prices than your average prostitute, because as a porn star, they can verify that they don't have any venereal diseases, and they can verify that they are someone who is experienced sexually because they have been in pornographic movies. So your average porn star, she was thinking she was going to fast track her way to success with this, but when she found out how much work was involved in being a sex worker, this is when your Mia Khalifa decided to quit. And when she decided to quit, what she wanted to do to distance herself, like many washed up females try to do, is make herself out to be the victim of the porn industry and make it look like she was being exploited, and now is talking about how ashamed she is of her past and talking about how she was underpaid doing porn. When anybody who understands the porn industry understands many of these productions were always low budget, and many of these prodcos, again, were fly by night. So everybody who knows the porn industry, they know that many of the people there are there because they can't get work anyplace else, or they're not interested in putting in the work in being a real actress. They're not interested in driving around town every day, going to these go-sees and auditions and getting roasted by these agents and producers, and then having to go to work at a customer service job at night or on the evenings. They don't want to go out here and put in that type of work as related to trying to get acting gigs. And because they don't want to go out here and do that work, people like Mia Khalifa, what they do is try to take that fast track to the porn industry, and then they find out it's a dead end, the same way Montana Fishburne found out it was a dead end over 10 years ago. And then after they find out it's a dead end, what a lot of these women try to do is they try to distance themselves from the decisions that they made. They try to make themselves out to be a victim, and then they try to clean themselves up, make themselves out to be something else, and then they do that and then monkey branch over to a big fat juicy simp who doesn't know that he's gotten involved with a deeply troubled woman, a woman who has a lot of emotional baggage, and if she's out here participating in porn, she's got a real serious array of mental health issues, and this Michelin star chef doesn't know what's cooking in that nuclear waste reactor, nor does he know what's cooking in her mind, because when a woman goes out here and has all of that sex with all of these different men, she is not only bonding with those men spiritually, she also has the DNA of those men inside of her, and that's going to lead to a woman being extremely mentally damaged. So when I look at this Mia Khalifa, I see, again, another one of these washed up women, and I see a woman trying to manipulate people into believing she's this victim when she was willfully and intentionally participating in the porn industry, and her reasons for participating in the porn industry were all about her getting this fame and attention. And when she didn't get the attention she wanted, that's when she decided to quit after 90 days because she wasn't going to become this Hollywood superstar. And when she saw that Pornhub #1 was not like #1 at the box office, that's when she decided she wanted to get out, because she didn't want to work for anything. All she was looking for was Easy Street. And now that she has her big fat juicy simp, now she wants to go out here and make it look like she's all reformed and cleaned up. And this is something guys have to look out for when you're dealing with washed up women. They will sit there and make it look like that all of these circumstances made them do what they wanted to do. But this Mia Khalifa was a college-educated professional woman, and she could have taken a job at any time because she had a college degree, and she could have taken a job at corporate America at any time. But the only reason why she was doing porn was because she wanted to get on the same fast track Montana Fishburne wanted to get on. And when she found out that there was work involved, that's when she decided to go out here and clean herself up, get a little job, and then find Mr. Simp, this chef who doesn't know what's cooking, and he doesn't understand that when you go out here and try to make a hoe into a housewife, you are setting up for a recipe for disaster. If you want to learn how to avoid predatory women like your Mia Khalifa, you can pick up my book, The Misadventures of Captain Save-A-Hoe, on Amazon.com in Kindle format. And you can also find Misadventures of Captain Save-A-Hoe on Smashwords and the iBookstore and Barnes & Noble. And if you want to pick up any of my other men's issues books, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, Esteemed Goddess of. Hell's aspiring angel takes on a demonic dominatrix in this action-packed, all-new Esteemed series adventure. Get Esteemed Goddess of in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today.